After more than 30 years in occupational health and safety, first as a firefighter, then as a risk manager for the world's largest brewery, and now an AI software founder, I believe that we have been asking the wrong questions all along. Most organizations, I believe, don't have a safety problem. I believe that most organizations today have got an intelligence problem. So what do I mean by intelligence problem? Let me explain exactly what I mean. I honestly believe that this one idea that I've got can simply change the future of workplace safety. So throughout my career, I've attended thousands and thousands of incidents, accidents, all those sorts of things. I've done the incident reports, I've done the investigations, all those sorts of things, right? I've written the reports, I've trained thousands of people, I've rescued thousands of people in my lifetime. But over the years, I've noticed something. Almost every incident that I attended had warning signs attached to them. There were warning signs all along, almost like breadcrumbs. But these warning signs already existed within the organization. The problem wasn't that the information didn't exist. The problem was that nobody connected the dots. Think about your organization, for example. You've got safety meetings, you do risk assessments, you do toolbox talks, you attend incident investigations, you fill out incident reports, you do hazard analysis, you put in your corrective actions, you do audits, you do inspections, you've got policies, you've got procedures, all those sorts of things. Thousands of pieces of information, little bit here, little bit there, spreadsheet here, document there. And at the end of the day, you are going absolutely crazy because you can't remember where you put the last document. And yet, you've got all these things, all the thousands of bits of information, which looks very nice, but incidents still happen. Incidents are still taking place. Why is that so? Because information is not intelligence. Let me say it again. I want to say it a bit slower. Information is not intelligence. What do I mean by that? I mean that executives don't need another report. They need to understand what all this information actually means to the business. You know, they really don't have the time to read through your 20-page report. They need to understand what does this actually, how is it going to impact the business? How is it going to impact the bottom line? And this is where artificial intelligence changes the game completely. It changes everything. Because AI simply doesn't record information. It also identifies patterns. It recognizes trends. It highlights risks. It predicts where problems are developing. And that is the main word that we need to remember there, predict. We are now able to predict what can happen. Instead of like in the past, taking the data from the past 5 years, the past 10 years, and then you try to forecast for the following 3 to 5 years, what you can reasonably expect to happen. AI and what we have built now predicts the future for you. So it tells you exactly where problems are developing in your business in real time. So it turns that information into intelligence. And that's exactly why I built Risk Lens. You remember that I built OHS Safe Notes last year, right? I built it, but this is the V2 or V3 of that initial build. I've now rebranded it, calling it Risk Lens. So it's not just another compliance platform. It's not an incident register. It's not just another meeting recorder. What I have built is an executive intelligence platform. Imagine this. Every safety meeting automatically now becomes an executive report for the CEO, for the board members, for the senior managers in the business. You know, it gives them risk predictions. It also tells them what they need to know, and that is, what is our financial exposure because of this, this, and this. This changes the game completely. completely. It gives them compliance insight, it gives them the action registers, and that's where I believe that workplace safety is heading. We need to start changing our thinking right now. So imagine you have a meeting, you record the meeting through RiskLens Safe Notes, you get your transcription of the meeting, but then you also get your executive report, you get an action register, you get an AI summary of everything that you've discussed, and this all in no more than 3 minutes. So I don't believe that AI will replace safety managers. What I believe is that it will make great safety managers even more valuable to their organizations, because the administrative work now disappears basically from this person's life, and their thinking can now become more strategic instead of managing 1,000 different things. They don't need to juggle all those balls anymore, right? So safety professionals now become more like trusted advisors to executives rather than administrators. And that was one of the reasons, by the way, why I did my MBA when I was working for the world's largest brewery, because I wanted to sit around the table with executives and be able to speak their language and to add value from the risk perspective. So over the coming months, I'm going to share the journey of RiskLens and the different components to the RiskLens platform as well. We've got RiskLens Safe Notes. We've got RiskLens Safety Guard as well, which is executive intelligence. You manage your OHS program in there. It's based on ISO 45001. It's got so many awesome features that is going to really make your life as a OHS professional so much easier. And also I'm going to share my lessons that I've learned over the last 30 years in the OHS field. I know it sounds crazy, right? 30 years in the field. So if you are passionate about workplace safety, I want you to follow this page, like, subscribe, and share as well with your fellow OHS professionals, so that we can really start building this community and start moving forward by predicting what is going to happen instead of waiting for things to happen. And I really believe that we need to just change our mindset in that regard, and we will be able to add so much more value to the businesses and the companies that we work for. And I believe, as I come in for a touchdown, that the future of workplace safety isn't more paperwork. It's all about better intelligence. It's all about better intelligence.